Welcome to PACE Moments. Here, our experts and guests discuss many aspects of corporate finance and analytical models that will help make better, more informed business decisions possible in your organization.
I'm Doug Hicks. With a degree in business and a passion for managerial accounting, I've been helping organizations improve the cost information they need for making well-informed, economically sound business decisions for nearly 40 years. I'm also a director of PACE, and in this edition of PACE Moments, I'm going to talk about my 3 laws of pricing. There are many principles, concepts, and laws that apply to product and service pricing. These are just 3 of them, but there are 3 that I've found organizations regularly violating, or at least ignoring, during my 5 decades in industry. In most cases, companies haven't consciously ignored these laws. Rather, they fail to follow them because they've never given them any thought. They blindly follow law-breaking practices they've inherited from their predecessors. Law 1. A company will win a lot of business when it gives away the things it does, but it will not win much business when it charges customers for things it doesn't do for them. You'd think this law obvious. If you give away the work you perform to a customer, your price will probably be quite competitive. If you charge a customer for work you don't do for them, you'll probably be uncompetitive. But that's what companies do when they have an overgeneralized cost system that fails to reflect the fundamental economics that underlie its operation, like systems based on the totally outdated direct labor-based costing model. They cost half of their items lower than they really are, and the other half higher than they really are, and end up giving away work when they base their price on those calculated costs. They give away their work for things that they've undercosted, and then they try to charge customers for things they don't do for those things they've overcosted. They win jobs, their system causes them to undercost, resulting in low profits or maybe even losses, and lose out on potentially profitable jobs that causes them to overcost. That's certainly not a formula for success. Law 2. Cost does not determine price. The market determines price. Cost determines whether or not a company wants to sell at the market price. Knowledge of market and knowledge of cost are 2 independent factors that go into a pricing decision. They are not linked. When an organization quotes business by rolling up its estimated cost and adding a profit margin, that not only ignores the market, but also develops a subconscious, non-existent link between cost and price. Such organizations regularly lie to themselves by artificially manipulating costs so that they can reduce a price to, hopefully, meet the market and still show a targeted profit on a product or service they're trying to sell. They're then surprised when they win a job and then it underperforms or even loses money. In cases where the organization is especially efficient in producing its product or providing its service, it often ends up winning the business at a price below market and loses out on potential profits. Cost is important in making a pricing decision, but it should not determine a product or service's price. Law 3. Any costs that are not assigned to products or services are actually assigned to them as a flat % of those costs that have been assigned. The thought process of many companies presuppose that gross margin percentage added to a product or service's cost covers both those business costs that were not assigned and the product or service's profit. But doesn't this practice treat all the non-assigned costs as if they were proportionate to the assigned cost? In most cases, that assumption is false. Below the line costs are seldom proportionate to the assigned costs. Order fulfillment costs, customer acquisition and maintenance cost, product or service line support cost or market support cost, and even general administrative costs are seldom proportionate to the costs that are assigned to the products. That's a fact that's made clear when a company actually has a valid causality-based cost model. Failure to better understand these below the gross margin line costs leads to the violation of Law 1, as costs incurred to support product, service, and customer costs are assigned to the wrong customers. So here's the summary of the 3 laws. Law 1, a company will win a lot of business when it gives away the things it does, but it will not win much business when it charges customers for things it doesn't do for them. Law 2, cost does not determine price. The market determines price. Cost determines whether or not a company wants to sell at the market price. And Law 3, any costs that are not assigned to products and services are actually assigned to them as a percentage of those costs that have been assigned to them. Organizations must be aware of these laws, develop a solid understanding of its markets, and create a valid causality-based cost model if it hopes to make quality pricing decisions. That's my point of view. What's yours? Let us know by posting your comments in the forum on PACE's website. Thank you, and I hope to talk with you again soon.